These are 3 hard-earned jewels that'll save you blood, sweat, and tears. We have to learn them the long way. You don't have to.
1, 2.
It's 3 the hard way.
That happens all the time. People making up titles happens all the time. It's usually glaring because you'll see someone who it'll be like a vice president designer, and the two things don't really go together. You could be a principal designer, and I've seen that before. There's a lot of different reasons I think why people make up titles, but I don't really put a lot of weight on titles. Titles start to matter a lot more when people are kind of pushing and pulling to try to get their way, right? Sometimes there isn't a wrong decision, it's just 2 separate decisions, and then title comes into play, like is this person more senior than the other person? A lot of times when people are focused on titles, it's either financially that they're trying to get somewhere, or they're looking for some sort of admiration and recognition. I don't look down on that. People want to feel proud of who they are. If entry level makes you feel like you haven't gotten to the level that you feel like you should be at, and you want to be a CEO, okay, well, that's where you feel like you belong. And who am I to tell somebody that, no, you shouldn't go for that, be comfortable being entry level? If that's what makes them happy, go for it. I don't pass judgment on people wanting to get to a certain level. I would just suggest know why you're trying to get to that level, know what that level entails. Often I've seen people want to get to specific titles, but they don't know what the title actually does or what comes along with it, And I've seen other people who have gotten to those titles end up feeling very regretful that they didn't enjoy the time when they were a little more junior. When you're one of the ICs, everybody feels like we're all peers. We can all kind of, vent the same way, talk the same way. There are things that I think designers and individual contributors will say to each other that they would never say in front of the manager or the art director or the creative director, right? Because they could appear a certain way, but because they're in the trenches with another IC or whatever, that's fine. Even I've seen designers, art directors, and ACDs will kind of look at things and act openly with one another, but then when the creative director shows up, it's a completely different vibe. When a problem arises and I can't solve the problem with my current set of tools, I'll try to adopt a new one. I was working on a Flash module that had to do with giving tips on how to conserve energy within your living space. My idea was I wanted to make it a 3D living space that you could go through and pick up all of these tips, right? Well, at the time, I didn't really know how to use any 3D software that well. And so for that, I had to pick up a 3D software. I found one that was focused primarily on interior spaces. And so it made it a little bit easier than having to model everything out. And so I built the spaces that I needed to build, took those stills actually at the time, and I exported those stills and built transitions within Flash from each room of the apartment to give you those tips. So for that, I had to learn a whole new software to build what it was that I was thinking about, but that was because I had the necessity for it. If every project called for just Photoshop, I would just use Photoshop. But for me, I'm always trying to push it a little bit further to see where else I can go with it.